Is somebody there? Hello? Is somebody there? Hello? Is somebody there? Hello? Is somebody there? Oh, David.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
All right. How are you, Gene?
Fine, thank you. Mary Ellen came up with an idea, and I don't know whether you'd like it or not, but I thought I'd mention it to you because to me, it makes sense. I know you don't like Zoom, but what you could do if you want to see the service is as we get close to starting the service, get off of Zoom and go on to the live stream, which would give you an opportunity to watch the service and without, you know, without having the Zoom part. Because I know you like to socialize at the beginning of this portion of it.
Right. Well, right now it would be too difficult for me to get on tonight, but maybe I'll give it a shot next week.
Okay. And if for some reason you have trouble getting on, you can always come back to the Zoom.
That's correct. I mean, to the phone. Yes.
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 But at least
Yes.
you don't have to hold it up to your ear and, all those things that get involved with it.
Well, I don't hold it up to my ear. I put it on a loudspeaker. I put it on loudspeaker and I lay the phone on the bed.
Okay. Well, it's just an
That's
idea.
where I sit, or on a table.
Yep.
I hear very clear. The only thing is, last week, which is unusual, I think I got disconnected. Otherwise, I just hung up because sometimes the cantor does such a long break between things that you don't know whether I'm disconnected or whether or not she's just breaking. So, but last week it was an awfully long break, so I thought, well, I may have gotten disconnected, so I'll just redo it.
Right.
It was, but I will.
Okay.
I will try the live stream next week.
Right, and as I said, you can participate on this until just as we're starting, because she has that little bit of music she plays at the beginning before the service starts, and that gives you time.
Right. Well, I will set up my computer. What time do you get on the live stream?
The live stream, well, first of all, the live stream is about 10 to 15 seconds behind the regular, what you see on Zoom. But it is, we get on that at about somewhere right around 7 o'clock, but sometimes it's 5 to 10 minutes before. So you can easily go over and check. And, if it doesn't come on, then you just wait until it does and come back on.
Okay, and I'll always have my phone ready.
Right. And another thing you can do is you can wait until you hear her start to play the music. Then you can go over and turn on your live stream. And once you're in, turn off the Zoom. It works all different ways. Whatever works best for you is good for everybody. Okay?
Yeah, well, right now this is working.
Good.
But I might give the other a shot.
Okay.
No reason why I can't.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Right.
So did you have a good day today?
Yeah, it was a lazy day. I didn't go out today. I had no reason to go out. You don't know, but I brought my food for the food bank. I had no idea that I was getting out today just to do that. So I brought it, I don't know, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Ellen brought it in, and that was it.
Yes, I think it was Wednesday because I saw Ellen bringing it in.
Yeah. So there was no big deal about it. But I did bring some food. Yes, I did.
That was very nice of you, too. And we had a very good day today. Lots of food came in. A whole lot. I'm going to be showing a picture at the beginning of services. So just to give everybody an idea.
Well, I was hoping I brought 3 bags. So I hope they matched me or more.
Well, many people did. And then there were also not many people didn't bring anything, but a lot of people brought 1 bag. But anything was greatly appreciated. And,
I know.
Just a very
The only reason why I meant that is I wanted to see a lot of food being brought. That's my whole reason for saying that.
No, I
But I used to bring something almost every week.
well, that's very nice.
See, what I do is I gather people from the neighborhood, and I know somebody that goes to their food bank, another food bank,
Right.
and what food they don't need out of that food bank, they give to me to bring to ours.
That's very nice of them.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? They don't,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they can't use it, they give it to me.
And that's very nice of them.
Yeah. And sometimes I buy, a lot of times I buy, one of these buy one, get ones.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And if I don't know that I'm going to need two in the future, then I might buy it and buy one and give one to the food bank myself. There's all kinds of ways you could do it.
Yep. It's very nice of you.
Yeah. Well, that's the least I can do for having at least food, a roof over my head and a little food on the table. I'm not saying I eat in luxury, but I eat.
It's a lot more than some people do.
That's correct. That's correct. And this year more than ever.
Oh, no question. No question at all. Let's hope we don't go through this again.
I hope not. Do you know the answer? I don't know if you know the answer to this question. I heard someone say it, but I haven't heard anything directly. Do you know if they got the shots at River Garden yet?
They get them this coming week. They get the
This
first.
coming week. Okay.
Right. They get the first one this coming week.
Okay. Well, I'll be ready.
Well, a lot of people will be ready for it, David.
Yeah, but before I get it, I have to make sure that one of my doctors approves. I have a little problem, and I have to make sure the cardiologist approves before I go shooting myself up.
Well, I can appreciate.
But other than that, I think he'll have no reason. But I can't second guess him. So next week I have plans on seeing if I can get a hold of him or leave a message or whatever.
Well, good luck with that. And, then what do? You have to wait until you find out that they admit you, because you have to get on a list to get it then.
Oh, I don't know how it's going to work, but I know in Florida it's different than the rest of the United States. So he's having seniors get it before service workers.
Right.
The governor.
Yes, he is.
So I'm quicker than I thought I would be.
Oh, you getting, David? You getting the shot?
Hello.
I don't know if I, I'll get it if I get permission from my doctor, and as soon as I find out how they're going to give it.
Okay,
I don't
good.
know. I first heard that it was going to be through CVS and Walgreens, but I heard also that it might be the fire department might give it.
Wow. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom. Hi, Jean. Hi, David.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, how are you, Felice?
Fabulous. So glad to be together tonight. I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
It is great, Felice. It is very nice to get together.
It really is. As the prayer says, how sweet it is.
Here comes Sandy. Hello, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
He may not have his.
And there's Marlene.
Hello.
There's Marlene's arm. Hi, Marlene. Hi, Sandy.
How are you?
Just fabulous. Thank you. Look at you. You look so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
You notice she never says that about me.
Oh, because I'm Jean. It's a given. How gorgeous you are. It's just a given.
Felice,
Look at this.
so are you, Felice. So are you.
Thank you. Thank you.
going back to
Thank you.
Sandy every week.
You know, I have I'm sorry, who's saying, Marlene, I apologize.
That's okay.
You
Hi,
know,
Bob. It's nice to be here early too and just hang out a little while.
Shabbos.
hello.
I watched the most wonderful program last night with Rabbi Jonathan Plout, and he was discussing all the reasons why Jewish people eat Chinese food on Christmas, and it's way more than what I thought, which was the only places open. There's such a story, but I wouldn't take everybody's time on it now, but it's really fascinating. It was fun.
Felice, before you do, Michael, I received your message. Thank you.
Oh, and there's another person, Gail Pinshaw, who's a cousin of Deborah's as well. Pinshaw.
Okay. Gail Pinshaw. I think I just saw Deborah come in. Deborah, please accept our,
Yes.
I don't know I never come up with the right term, but please know that we care and we're very sad for your loss and hope you're comfortable and everybody in the family is.
Very much, Deb. Very much, Deb and Michael.
Hi, Jean. Hi, Sandy,
Hi,
Marlene.
Susan.
Hello, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Hello,
Hi,
How are
Susan.
you?
hi, everybody. Good.
Hi, Jane.
Hello, Bob.
Hi, Felice.
Bob?
Hi, Marlene. Sandy.
How's everybody doing tonight? Today?
Doing good.
We missed you a few times, Susan. Were you ill?
Yeah. No, I was with my family.
Oh, that's even better.
2 weeks ago, we had a family Hanukkah party. Last week, I had a small dance recital for my granddaughter. They did a small holiday show.
Nice.
Very
So I went to that. And then I've been home, but it just seemed like everything was on Friday night. Everything was on Friday night. No. But I have not been ill, thank you.
Hello, Ron and Barbara.
Hello, Barbara's in the other room, but she's coming.
I
Hello,
know,
Ron.
but I thought she could be just hiding around the corners.
Behind the sofa.
Sort of.
We could do that for extra fun one time. Like, okay,
Everybody switch houses.
yeah, everybody hide behind the sofa, something like that. I must be totally nuts. This thing is getting to me.
No comment, Felice. No comment.
Thank you.
Stay away from it.
Totally nuts and proud of it.
So are we lined up for the vaccine yet? Anybody lined up for the vaccine?
Haven't heard about it.
Once they
My son
tell
got
us,
the
once they tell us where to go or when to go or whatever.
He's had no side effects from it.
A lot of people have told me where to go, but it didn't have anything to do with the vaccine.
Yeah.
Hello, Jack.
Jack,
I keep changing who's a priority in the state of Florida right now. We're second priority. We're not first, but we're second. So
Nursing home is first.
Yeah.
yes.
Nursing and continuing care.
Right. So
I think they're shipping the Moderna vaccine in right now to Florida. Second batch.
right. Who knows how much will be available by the time they, tell us.
We won't get it for a while.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful to know it's coming. Don't you agree, everybody? It's just wonderful to know it's on the way.
Right.
I think we're all very fortunate that it's on its way.
Yes.
Of course, if we had our druthers and if it works, I'd rather have the Johnson & Johnson. It's only one shot.
Yes, me too. Maybe we get our druthers.
You wait long enough, but even if you go to a place, you don't know which one they have.
I think Moderna is one shot too. Just Pfizer.
No.
Two shots,
Two.
Marlene.
Yeah.
Both the first two are 2 shots.
Correct.
Jason got the Pfizer.
Pfizer's 2 shots.
Yeah, but you don't know what facility is going to have what brand. So, you
You
can't.
get a choice. That's what I understand.
You
Well,
will
It's
get-
UF Health and they got the Pfizer.
Mhm.
When they call your name or send you a message, something said, come get vaccinated, You
You
just
just
take
go.
whatever. stick in
Yes,
your-
absolutely. Like, thank you, God.
Hi, Rabbi.
Wait.
Hello, Michael.
Thank you.
Hello, Deb.
Hello, Rabbi. Welcome.
Hello,
Gee.
Rabbi.
Hi,
Can you
Rabbi. I don't see him.
Yep,
Can you all,
time out.
time out, please. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure because we're having some technical difficulties here.
I'll be right over, Rabbi, and help you.
Probably in the middle of a snowstorm. where you
No.
go-
I'm down in our
Mark.
apartment. I'm down at our apartment.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
wonderful.
Yes, it is. I guess. I hope. I don't know.
Hope so too. How is it cold there? How is it?
It's 50 degrees. It's chilly, so the natives are restless. You made it through all the crazy traffic I see, huh? No, we only hit one bad stretch in North Carolina. The back end of that storm, it rained
Oh,
for about 2 hours, and once we hit south of the border, everything worked and it cleared up.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the south of the border that we all know off of 90?
Yeah. South of Pedro's south of the border. One of my favorite places in America that raises tackiness to an art form.
Have you ever stayed there?
No.
No, we have.
Well,
did?
why? Why would you do that?
Right after 9/11, we were driving south to Florida, and we could not find a room anywhere.
wow.
We had 3 young children on board. So
Uh.
we went in there, we told the kids, don't take off any of your clothes. And we put padding on top of the pillows, and we said, don't walk on the carpet without your shoes on.
Oh my goodness, what a memory. Wow.
Well, it's an interesting place,
Yes, it is.
but one day, well, never mind. I can't tell you the stories, but Michael, how are you? How's Deb? Deb was good. She's right here with me. All right. Oh, you just popped up. Okay. What are those candles or guided missiles? What are those?
Can you see what they say?
No.
Hi, Rabbi in Maryland.
Hi there.
Shabbat shalom.
Hi there.
Hi,
Shabbat
Felice.
shalom.
Hello, everyone.
Who wouldn't be able to
It
read
says
it?
Shabbat,
Where?
and the other one says Shalom.
Oh, that's beautiful, Deb.
Very nice.
Deb, we were
Deb.
sorry to hear about your mother.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you accept this as a big hug, Deb? Big hug.
Big hug.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Bob.
Hello there.
Felice, thank you for your
Rabbi.
your funny blessing.
Oh,
Marilyn.
I'm glad you liked it. Thank you.
And
This is-
and there's a guy. What's his name?
Hey,
Also
Bernie.
sent me something. I forget who it was.
Hi,
I got-
Janie.
No, I
Here's
don't need that.
Jane.
Hi,
Hey.
Jane.
Is that Lee down there in the corner?
Yes.
Yes, that's
Hi, Lee.
Lee. Janie,
Hi, Lee.
hey there, everybody. I have a message for you, Janie. Guess what we had for dinner tonight? It's Christmas.
What did you have?
We had Chinese.
Of
course.
Chinese too.
I was just telling them when they came in, I watched a program last night where Rabbi Jonathan Plout explained a whole lot about why Jewish people eat Chinese. And I would love to share it sometime. It's too long for now, but there's also a video that I can send you to. It was fascinating.
Yeah,
Was on the video.
did he mention the history of that? Because
Yes.
yeah,
Was he
because
serious?
this is the year 5781, and in the Chinese calendar, it's like in the 4000s. So it's obvious that the Jews had to wander for 1,000 years without Chinese food. So
That's why they had Louisiana.
That's the whole problem. That's it.
that's
And
an old.
depending on where you live, they're still wandering, looking for good Chinese.
Not really.
Like Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
Welcome to Southern summer, winter in Jacksonville, you Northerners, you. You thought we summer hot weather all year? Well, did you bring your warm clothes?
Yes.
Oh, somebody's got mail. That's good.
That's me.
Oh, either that or watching an old Tom Hanks movie.
Rabbi, did you bring warm clothes?
No, I have warm clothes down here. Don't worry.
Oh, that's good.
Everybody's
Hi,
worried
Anna
about you,
Marcia.
Rabbi.
I can't. Too many people talking at once. I can't hear it. But we're going to have hopefully some fun. It's Shabbat of Christmas. It's everybody's stoked up on MSG, and you're digesting your barbecued spare ribs and your mugu gai pen, and
We had chicken soup and noodles.
That's so funny.
It was very good.
so
But I couldn't find a challah, so I bought some Hawaiian bread.
Okay,
it begins with the same letter.
works.
All right, what time is it? Oh, we have 6 minutes before. If you have to do anything personal, this is the time to do it.
Tell some jokes.
I must tell you, I spoke to my son and daughter-in-law in Denver today. It was warmer there today than it was here.
Oh,
My goodness.
Why
Yeah,
don't
but
you-
wait a week.
Yeah, and they'll have 10 feet of snow.
Hey,
Wait a day, probably.
That's
It's
right.
warmer in Connecticut than it is here also.
Oh, gee.
Well,
60s.
it's all right. I like the
When we
bungalow.
get started, I'm going to be muting everybody and you'll have to unmute yourself to continue.
Only 5 to 7.
I said, when we get started.
Oh,
I said everything right at 7 o'clock. You'd be upset that we're starting too late. I go,
Poor Jane.
Some people.
That's a tough spot. That's really tough. Hi, is that Goldie?
Yes.
Hi, Goldie. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Hi, Goldie.
We're having fun, Goldie. We're laughing and everything. I'm glad you joined.
You. I'm glad
Between the rabbi and Jean, we're just cracking up.
James,
hello, Jonathan.
This was supposed to be a fun Shabbat.
Hi, Susan.
It will be.
Dandy,
I'm counting on that.
Hey,
We all-
Laura, it's good to
We all
see
need
you.
some laughs, don't we?
Yes.
Good to see you, Laura.
Hello, everybody.
And
Good evening.
Hello.
And
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Laura Sofsky right there.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, Laura.
Yep.
Christmas.
James, are you doing I got a memo that you're doing the announcements today?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Do you have a whole list of announcements?
I do.
Oh, good.
No more than 20 minutes.
That's right.
and
In other
we'll
words,
save it to the end.
sounds like a rabbinica at 20 minutes. So that could be an hour and a half.
Yes.
But
I'll
anyway.
make sure it's shortened.
No. Listen, that's whatever turns you on. I mean, it's Friday night.
Well, we can turn it off by that time.
It's Christmas. What else do we have to do?
Well,
Movies this year had to be on TV, not at the theater. We got the
No,
Chinese food. The movie was on TV.
I missed the movies on Christmas.
Yeah.
that's why God invented Netflix. There's a million good movies on it.
Whole Temple was at the movies on
Hi,
Christmas.
Diana.
Hi, so good to
Oh,
see you guys.
that's screaming in my ear. It's the family.
That's
My sister. Mr. Mallow, how are you?
Great, Rabbi. How are you tonight?
Never better. What can I tell you?
And after service, what old movies? TMC's got The African Queen tonight.
Oh, that's a great movie. It's a great movie.
In that years.
No.
That's
But
a good one.
Laura, I like your cat.
Thank you.
Oh.
Oh, we got a cat.
Got a big group.
We got a cat. We got dogs. Pretty soon we'll have monkeys and birds and all.
Why not?
No.
Watching the program in the school.
Be careful what you wish for.
I don't know. That's
Which
like
one is
on
it?
flying on an airplane with all the dogs
one?
now and cats and everything.
Do they let dogs and cats on now?
That one?
They let
Yeah,
everything on now. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Okay.
one of the airlines is limiting what they can bring on. I think just dogs and cats. Which airline?
A friend, anyway, okay, this is your 2-minute warning. This is seriously, if you have to get a cup of coffee or a drink,
Chaim.
or whatever.
Ooh. Okay, Marcia, what'd you spike that with?
It's hot tea. Just
Nice.
plain old boring hot tea.
Jane, that's a pretty glass. What is in there?
Well, it is Shabbat, and I just got back to Florida, so
It's not wine. Let me put it this way.
it's the glass that I got in.
They don't care about the glass. They want to know if it's the Grey Goose.
No, that's okay.
glass.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Good evening, everybody. Shabbat shalom. Before we get started, excuse me 1 minute. Before we get started, I'm going to take a moment and share with everybody some very wonderful event occurred at the temple today. Ed Mao, Wyatt Bowers, Jonathan Richmond joined me in one of the largest food collections we've had in a long, long time. Also, there were several checks that came in, all for the benefit of the food, the food bank that's sponsored by JFCS. It's quite an accomplishment. Thank you all for participating. And if anybody would like to drop something off Monday, it would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, I'm going to mute everybody now. So, Rabbi, it's all yours.
Thank you, Gene. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Gene, let me ask you a quick.
You have to unmute. Sorry.
That's okay. If somebody wanted to write an additional, somebody that forgot and checked for the food thing, do they make it out to the temple or Jewish Family Service?
JFCS will be fine, and we'll forward it.
Okay. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and good Yontif. We're going to have a little bit of a different, as I told you on the Temple Times thing, if you got it. We're just going to try to change things around. It's the darkest time of the year. The news continues to be horrible. There's really very little, that brightens the day. So I decided to do what I've done, my old.
We lost you, Rabbi.
Rabbi, you're frozen at the moment. Michael, if you can hear me, you are not frozen.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and we'll begin, and we can have the opening song is Hine Ma Tov, and then when Rabbi comes back, he'll join. Okay. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. There's something wrong. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not a tech genius, but we're back in the apartment and at home, everything works fine. So let me cut to the chase before we go into the candle blessing with Deb and Michael. Tonight, I want to talk to you a little bit and give you some introduction to some things about Jewish humor, which is a very, very favorite topic of our people, as you know. This is a little bit of an introduction from a book called The Treasury of Jewish Humor. And the author talks about the character of Jewish humor, and we all love Jewish jokes. And he says it's usually no more ha 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 or ho ho ho. In the beginning, perhaps you'll find it all quite puzzling. First, you laugh at a Jewish joke, then against your will, you suddenly fall silent and thoughtful. And that is because Jews so frequently are jesting philosophers. A hard life has made them realist without illusions, because a lot of our humor comes from our own saying. Can I finish? Anyway, never mind. So what I want to do is just give you some examples of some of these things. And you all have Jewish jokes, and you all know them. Some of the ones I'm going to offer you, you probably are familiar with. For those of you who maybe even tomorrow morning during Shabbos morning service, I have some extras if we don't have time to get to them tonight. These are all done in the spirit of humor and the spirit of the idea, as the author of there says, you know, even in the hardest times, the Jewish tradition is also, even in the midst of hard times, we find humor. And it's a defense mechanism, as we all know, but sometimes you laugh and then you think, you know, behind the laughter, there's a lot of truth there. But one of the truths we'll deal with is a blessing of the Shabbat candles. And Deb and Michael, could you lead us in the blessing of the Sabbath candles? You'll find it on your service sheet on page 2.
Source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who join us in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yisharu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק של שבת. Amen. We're going to, in a minute, go to page 4 with the Lecha Dodi, but first, how many of you? I only can, you know, with this Zoom thing here, you only have so many people on the screen. But one of our major resources of humor is Yiddish. Some of you may know this book, which is a classic. This is mine from about 50 years ago, called The Joys of Yiddish by Leo Rostin. And if you're ever feeling down, pick up the book, just open to any page, and you'll probably get a chuckle. So Yiddish is a very interesting language. It has a little bit of a revival right now. And there's a new word that is circling called Oysgesumt. Now, Oysgesumt is the Yiddish for what we're doing right now, is we're tired of Zoom. So Oysgesumt means enough already with Zoom, and it's too much already. This is a lovely joke from a section of that book called Jewish Humor, and it's a story about parents and children. Now, this sort of like encapsulates some people I know very, very well. 3 elderly Jewish women were seated on a bench in Miami Beach, each one bragging about how devoted her son is to her. The first one says, "My son is so devoted that last year for my birthday, he gave me an all-expense paid cruise around the world, first class." The second one says, "My son is more devoted. For my 75th birthday last year, he catered an affair for me and even gave me money to fly down my good friends from New York." The third one says, "My son is the most devoted. 3 times a week, he goes to the psychiatrist. $120 an hour he pays him. And what does he speak about the whole time? Me." That's truer than you possibly could ever imagine. We greet the Sabbath bride on page 4 with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shahamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shem tiferet v'litchila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshva tichila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva ore kumi ori, uri shir daberi, kavod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela.
And Risen's body or spirit.
Ahateret ba'alam, tam b'simcha u'v'tzochalam, och emunei am segulam, bo vichala. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Page 5, the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkada v'yitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Adivrach Yerutei v'yamich malchutei, mechayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, uvizman kariv, v'yimaru. Amen. Yehesh meraba mevarach, ve'alam olamei amahaya, Yitbarach, ve'yishtabach, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כובחתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירון בעולמם, ויברוך.
Amen. And in spirit or in body, we continue with the Baruch Hu as we rise.
Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai.
Top of page 6. Michael, you want to lead us in the roll into dark?
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Parei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
In the middle of page 6, the Ahavat Olam, this sense translation, again, picking up the theme of love. And let's see, let's try somebody who'd like to read this. And since it's Zooming and we can't just figure out people, and some people have disappeared anyway. And I hope some of you have, I hope you have the, Jonathan, are you there? Can you unmute? Do you have the song, the sheet? Jonathan Richmond? Hello?
I am
There.
here. What page?
Page 6, that paragraph in the English, everlasting love you offered your people Israel.
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life. And doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, listen to this one. Once upon a time, a Jewish mother sent her son off to the first day in school with the customary pride and precautionary advice. So, Bubala, you'll be a good boy and obey your teacher. and you won't make noise, Bubala, and you'll always be very polite and play nice with the other children. And when it's time to come home, you'll button up warm so you won't catch cold, Bubala. And you'll be careful crossing the street and come right home. Off went the little boy. When he returned home that afternoon, his mother hugged him and kissed him and exclaimed, "So, did you like school, Bubala? You made new friends, you learned something." "Yeah," said the boy. "I learned my name is Irving." Oh, come on, that's a little chuckle, That's the problem with Zoom. But this
Rabbi,
is, yo.
Our children are joining us tonight, so I know they're appreciating all this wisdom.
Yeah, never mind. Good. The ladies met on the Grand Concourse. Some of you from New Yorkers know where that is. Mrs. Blumenthal carrying her groceries, Mrs. Kowarski pushing a pram with 2 little boys in it. "Good morning, Mrs. Kowarski. Such darling little boys. So how old are they?" "The doctor said Mrs. Kowarski is 3 and the lawyer is 2. In body or spirit, we rise for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Ve'ahavta, page 7.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'elem asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam bishivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uveshochbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot ayadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam Amezuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tisgaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Thank you, Michael. I hope all of you saw in the chat Rhoda London's chat to everybody, because it's cute. It's very cute. I don't know what screen you're on, Rhoda, but thank you very much. For years, after I was ordained, my mother would introduce me the same way. This is my son, the rabbi, until I finally had to tell people that I did have a first name called Richard. That my first name was not Rabbi, and she did that for years and years and years. It became a running joke between her and I think she got a kick out of it. But really, one of the things I wanted to do this tonight with the humor and some of the jokes is because really it triggers a lot of memories, like Rhoda's memory. It does. And, you know, at this stage and where we are and with the pandemic and all the bad news, sometimes it's just good to laugh. It really is. Sometimes it's just good to laugh. Gets rid of a lot of weird stuff sometimes. But I don't know whether this gentleman, I don't even know whether I think he's a member of the synagogue, Saul Schmetzer. I don't think he's on the call. If you are, Saul, put something in the chat. But Saul has started to send me stuff. And maybe he looked at the Temple Times and saw that we were going to do this tonight. So he sends me this joke, a Yiddish joke, but translated into the colloquial New Jerseyan. A woman goes, very contemporary, by the way. A woman goes to the post office to buy stamps for her Hanukkah cards. So she says to the clerk, "May I have 50 Hanukkah stamps, please?" "And what denomination would you like?" asked the clerk. The woman says, "Oi, it's come to this. Okay, give me 5 Chabad, 13 Orthodox, 12 Conservative, and 15 Reform, and 5 Reconstructionists." But instead of that, we'll go to page 8 and ask Michael to lead us in the Micha Mocha.
מי כמוך באלף אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם, לעולם ועד. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
And on page 9, we turn to, again, as probably some of you know by now, my favorite Friday night prayer anyway, the evening prayer, the Hashkivenu, which again, on page 9, the translation of that asks that God gives us a shelter. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are the true protection and safety. In your presence, we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us the shelter of your peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. It's especially the symbolism there and the imagery there is, I think, even more profound right now in this time of the year with all the craziness and the sadness and yet the small, tiny little glimmer of hope, maybe with this vaccine. And perhaps as we pray and in the quiet of our hearts at night or whenever we have the time to reflect, that this idea of really this protection, because in many ways, the mask that we're asked to wear is like the Hashkivenu prayer. It just occurred that it really is a shelter. It's a protection from that which can cause us harm. So this prayer has not only symbolic meaning, but right now in this pandemic, if you take a look at that mask that you wear when you go out, it's like this Sukkot Shalom, this shelter of peace that's protecting you and protecting other people. Page 9 in the Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim.
On page 10, Michael, Yismechu.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael
V'shamru.
et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, od hi le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai, et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam olam.
And on page 11, in body or spirit, I'd ask you to rise and join with Michael with the Amidah, the tefillah, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, v'Yezrat Sarah.
Amen.
Atagi bole olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atarav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofech holim, Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחייהם, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלם. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Okay. How many of you remember the show or the movie Hello Dolly? Dolly Levi, if you remember, Barbara Streisand in the movie, and about 500 other people on the Broadway stage. Was a shadchan. Now, a shadchan, as some of you probably know, is a time-honored tradition within Judaism. It's a matchmaker, and this still happens, and there are still cultures that follow this practice. There's even a I think it's either on Amazon or Netflix. Last year there was a mini series about the continent of India matchmaker goes around, which is actually a pretty good show. But shadchanut, to verbalize it, within our tradition is a time-honored tradition. If you remember Fiddler on the Roof, and there's stories about trying to find the right match for a man or for a woman. So here's a couple, which I hope you like, and one of them goes like this. A shadchan, having sung the praises of a female client, brought his excited male prospect to see her. The young man took one look at the damsel to whom the shadchan had elaborately introduced him and recoiled. "What's the matter?" asked the shadchan. "You said she was young," whispered the young man, "and she's 40 if she's a day." That's young now. "You said she was beautiful, and she looks like a duck. You said she was shapely, and she's fat enough for two. You said you don't have to whisper," said the shadchan. "She's also hard of hearing." I'm sorry. It's a funny joke.
To you.
It's a funny joke. It probably sounds better in Yiddish, but I do not know Yiddish. If any of you know Yiddish, unmute yourself and you can tell the joke in Yiddish. Second one. So my wife will probably hit me. It's Yiddish jokes. This is before the modern era. The shadchan was impressing the young man with the boundless virtues of a female and ended, "And to look at, she's a regular picture." The young man could not wait for his blind date. But when he accosted the shadchan the next day, his voice was frosty. Her eyes are crossed. Her nose is crooked. And when she smiles, one side of her mouth goes down. "Just a minute," interrupted the shadchan. "Is it my fault you don't like Picasso?"
I just have to tell you how
Jane,
beige and yellow this book is.
It's old like me. Anyway, I mean, the shadchan stuff is, anyway. So I don't get yelled at by my wife, page 14, the Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav ad Yisroel amcham, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav ad Yisroel amcham, tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, Lecho hashalom, ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav HaYisrael Amcha Tasihim Le'olam. Shalom Rahav HaYisrael Amcha Tasihim Le'olam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael B'chol ed u'v'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rahav HaYisrael Amcha Tasihim Le'olam. Shalom Rahav HaYisrael Amcha Tasihim Le'olam. Tasihim Le'olam. Tasihim Le'olam.
And we pause for a few moments of private meditation and prayer.
Ose shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imaru amen. Ose shalom bimromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imaru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imaru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imaru amen.
The Mishaberach prayers that every synagogue now does on Shabbat, either Friday night and Shabbos morning, frankly, they've taken on a lot more meaning with this pandemic. So many people are dealing with so much stuff. Not only the physical aspect of illness, but the mental health aspect of illness, which is epidemic in this pandemic right now. There's so many people who know people. We just talked to a friend of ours today when we were in the car who just got out of the hospital. We have another very good friend, a young woman I've known for since the late 60s, who's been in and out of ICU in Atlantic City for 3.5 weeks, and is in very, very serious condition, all with COVID. The the prayers that we offer, not only for refuat hanefesh and refuat haguf, the healing of the soul, the healing of the body, but always we include those people who are heroes right now, the frontline workers. If you see the news, these people who are in ICUs every single day, can't even go home to their families because they're afraid of transmitting it to their children, to their spouse. The frontline workers who are still probably out now delivering things, grocery workers, the firefighters, the people like today in Nashville who had to deal with this explosion, which may have been set and we don't know yet. The idea of healing is just much more than somebody who's just not feeling well or sick. It goes in many ways, to be blunt about it, to where we are in our whole society. The fact that in every single one of our cities, there are lines of people who don't have enough things to eat. About 5 miles from this apartment in West Palm Beach, there are lines and lines of people in cars where 2 miles across the intercoastal, there are people who could probably write a check and feed every single one of them without any problem. The society is sick. And I'm going to ask, as we pray this prayer and name these names, that we also re-energize our own souls. That in this new year of 2021, that we just do one thing. Just take some time to do one thing to lift up someone who really needs it. The food inequity in this country right now is nothing short of a sin. It is a sin that thousands and thousands of people have to line up just to have something to eat, while Congress fiddles, which is a shame and a shanda and a sin. It is a sin. The Mishaberach prayer. We pray for refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf. We honor the caregivers. We honor all those who are the victims of ignorance, the victims of duplicity, the victims of politics, where people forget people, just people who are in need. We call to mind the names of those people in our own congregational family on this particular Shabbat. Carol Babcock, Malcolm Bloom, Philip Bloom, Rosalie Teddy Bono, George Caballero and family, Dr. David Cassius, Stuart Cohen, Tom Davis, Art Fields, Bob Flynn, George Glossman, Mary Hartman, Irene Jacobs, Margie Jacobs, Judy and Ben Jacobson, Kimberly Janis, Robert Kay, Marilyn Levitt, Teresa Levy, Roseanne Macon, Barbara McDonald, Gary Nadler, David Osofsky, Laura Osofsky, Marilyn Pankin, James Penson, Tom Pines, Lauren and Lainey Pinar, Buddy Pollock, Jean Posen, Randall Rout, Marlene Reb, Sandra Resnikoff, Ida Richin, Anita Richin, Alex Rossin, Lori and Paul Rothstein, Stephanie Sibilia, Ruthie Silver, Jan Smith, Bob Tews, Bernice Tobias, Ruth Van Alsten, Judy Van Gorder, Joan Waits, Carolyn Wenk, Susan Wolf, Nathaniel Asher Ben Yitzchak, Devorah Bat Rochel, Bess Soffer, Mark Travis, Thomas Christie. And I see some names coming up. Elaine Powell and David Hampton was not on the list, Felice. So we mentioned his name. And Sarah Elizabeth Bat Avigail. Any other names that you would like to bring forth? And Shlomo Shmaya Ben Baya. And we join with Michael with our prayer for healing.
מקור הברכה leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracham lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
There are so many examples of just humor. One of the stories I told you in the high holidays, if you remember the high holidays, it seems like about 6 years ago, but believe it or not, it was like about 2.5 months ago. There was that one story about the man and the child and the grandfather and the donkey, and at the end they schlepped the donkey on their back and everybody laughed. But it's a funny story. But the moral of the story is, if everybody listens to everybody all the time, nothing gets done. Humor is like that. There's a category of Jewish stories. Some of you may have heard, and many of your previous rabbis may have told you some of these stories about this mythical village somewhere in the Carpathian Mountains in the Old Country called Chelm, Chelm. Now, the Helmites were a very unique group of people. They probably could be elected to the Senate right now in the United States, but that's a political statement. I don't want to offend. If you're offended, write a nasty letter to David Kaufman, and they'll deal with it on the board. But it's the Helmites probably could get elected to the Senate. It's a group of people who, they had their own unique way of dealing with reality, but they were the source of a whole library of literature, literally within the tradition, Yiddish literature, and it's come in. It's not unlike some of the Sholem Aleichem stories. The Sholem Aleichem stories, which are a whole other study unto itself, which, as you know, are the basis of Fiddler on the Roof. They had a different level of sometimes humor, but a lot more pathos. But the Helm stories, there are lots of them, and sometimes we tell it to kids, but there really isn't much of Jewish humor. There's a real, tam. It's another word that's hard to translate. Tam. Some of you know what tam means. I can't translate it into colloquial English, but you know it when you see it. So here's an example of a Helm story. It's really kind of cute. Shloimi, the young apprentice cobbler of Helm, took as his bride a girl of his own age, 18. Imagine his surprise when 3 months later, the new wife gave birth. Naive as he was about such matters, he was nevertheless astounded at this phenomenon, so he rushed to the rabbi's house for an explanation. In Helm, if it was ever a problem, they go right to the rabbi. That's changed as well. Rabbi, he exclaimed, you will find this difficult to believe, but my wife just gave birth to a baby. Wives usually do, commented the sage. But we have only been married 3 months. My own mother, may she rest in peace, told me it takes 9 months to make a baby. Believe me, I'm terribly worried. The rabbi stroked his beard and reflected upon this strange occurrence. When he had meditated long and earnestly, he spoke to the young man, his voice unusually kind. We will solve this mystery with Talmudic logic. through the asking of questions. First, my son, you say you have been married for 3 months? Yes, Rabbi. Your wife has lived with you for 3 months? Yes, she has. And you have lived with your wife for 3 months? Yes. There you have it, young man. Add up the total. 3 months plus 3 months plus 3 months. How much is that? 9 months, Rabbi. Correct, said the rabbi gently. Peace be with you and yours. Now go home to your wife and your 9-month baby. That's Helm math. That's Helm math. We'll maybe do another Helm story tomorrow in the light of day, because it has to do with snow, the unmentionable word. You know something? I'm going to change things around just for the fun of it, because I can. And where's my announcement man? The problem with Zoom here is that people move their boxes around. It's crazy.
I'm right here.
Oh, James, there you go. You showed up. You disappeared. You came back. Why don't you favor us with a few of your more favorite announcements?
I will. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you, Rabbi Address, for your humor tonight, and to Michael Kerr for leading our music. We continue to worship, learn, and engage with our community virtually on Zoom, as we've been doing for some time. Tomorrow morning, Torah study will be led by Rabbi Address at 9 o'clock. Shabbat morning service with Rabbi Address and Michael Kerr will begin at 10:30. Next Tuesday, wisdom class will be led by Cantor Berry at 10:30 a.m. As Jean mentioned, a special thank you to the Brotherhood for leading the Mitzvah Day this year with the food drive. That was a big success. I was by there this morning, and it looked really good. Thank you, Jean. And so thank you to all who gave and continue to give to the Max Block Food Bank at JFCS. On Monday, January 11, Rabbi Raskin will lead a discussion on Jews in the Civil War. I don't have the details of that, but I presume that will be coming out this coming week. But anyway, that will be Monday, January 11. The many temple events that can be found online in the Week at a Glance, the Temple Times, Temple website, and the Messenger. We are now up on social media, including Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And you can check out our YouTube channel under the congregation's name for recorded programs. So wishing everyone a healthy and safe New Year, which will be next Friday night. Happy New Year and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, James. I just want to reiterate tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. the Torah study. It's a great Torah portion called Vayigash, and I sent out a bunch of questions, but it's a dramatic piece of text on a variety of different levels, and it raises a bunch of very interesting questions. Not the least of which is one of the 3 or 4 great questions that it comes to us in the Torah, which we're going to talk about. You should also know, and we're going to be rolling this out in January. We are putting together some very interesting adult education programs on virtually on Zoom until things get back to normal, and that is, oh my God, I have to read that. We're going to start with a program called Sacred Cinema, and we're going to take a look at 2 movies. We're going to put the publicity out probably right after the first of the year. One in January, one in February. What I'm going to ask you to do is go to Zoom or Netflix, and these are popular movies that are on the streaming channels. You may have the DVDs at home if you remember DVDs. But the 2 movies are Crimes and Misdemeanors, which is it's a Yom Kippur sermon. It should be the sermon on Yom Kippur. Because and to look at these movies through a Jewish values perspective. And the second movie, my wife's favorite movie, which actually has a whole ton of very Jewish value messages, called The Wizard of Oz, which has nothing to do with kids. but it's a very, very adult and very, very powerful movie. We're going to do 4 programs starting also in January about current issues and relationship to Jewish tradition. That's stuff that's happening in every single one of our families. The issue of caregiving, the issue of making sacred decisions at the end of life, the issues around health and wellness, mental health and physical health. You trace that through Jewish tradition, you're going to be amazed. And the last one about a whole bunch of new rituals that are being created around the extended lifespan. And then a buddy of mine, Larry Kotak, Rabbi Kotak, who is emeritus from the congregation in Rochester, who also teaches at a Catholic seminary down here in Boynton Beach, is going to do a 3-part series in the spring dealing with the Abrahamic religions. He's going to trace the development of Christianity out of Judaism. Then he's going to trace the development of Islam out of Christianity and Judaism. And then he's going to take a look at the whole interesting phenomenon of anti-Semitism and why anti-Semitism is still such a powerful presence in the United States and around the world. So those are just some of the things that we're going to be rolling out between now and May. It will right now planning to be all on Zoom, but the movie thing and the family thing should be, I'm hoping some of you will show up because it's fun to teach, and it raises some very, very interesting questions. Anyway, so thank you all again, and thank you for Jean for teching tonight, and Deb and Michael obviously for sparing you, the congregation, the challenge of listening to me sing, which is not funny by any stretch of the imagination. On page 18, we rise in body or spirit and join with Michael in the Elena.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
On page 19, this lovely meditation before the Kaddish, the Yesh HaKochavim, which we sometimes sing. It's really a poem by the famous poetess Hannah Senesh. There are stars up above so far away, we only see their light, long, long after the star's self is gone. And so it is with the people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways in which we remember. I think it's especially meaningful at this darkest time of the year when we look for light, and so many religious traditions celebrate light, Hanukkah, Christmas, tomorrow, Kwanzaa, that we think of those stars in that sky as perhaps symbolic of all the people that we now remember. We remember them in love. Despite the loss, they find their way into our hearts and souls, and there they remember, and there they remain, and we pull that out. We pull that memory out so many times, and that's what keeps them. That's it. That's eternal life within Judaism. As long as we remember, no one ever really dies. And so we recall the names of those taken from the midst of the family of this congregational family in this past week: Rosella Schiff, Ellen Setzer, Ann Young, Stephen Schulman. We continue to remember the Shloshim of George Pines and the anniversary of those who have died on this Shabbat, and it's celebrated on this Shabbat. Lorraine Ash, Ginger Bailey Began, Samuel Berlin, Emmanuel Mon Bloomfield, William Herman Dorman, Louis Fraden, Herbert Goldberg, Dr. Earl Hurwitz, Fanny Levin, Dee Levine, Minnie Manasseh, Jack Markowitz, Joan Marin, Jack Nebrat, Edward Simeon Rubin, Aaron Sharman, Seal Shostak, Francis Simon, Irene Wedelis Stanley, Rebecca Tucker, Brent M. Turbo, Ron Weil, Paul Rothstein, and I'm going to add the name of a very good friend of mine, a colleague who lost his battle with pancreatic cancer on Tuesday. Rabbi Dr. Raphael Goldstein, a charming, lovely, sweet colleague who was in charge of the National Association for all the Jewish chaplains in North America. With them in mind, as we hold them in our hearts, the people whose names we have mentioned publicly, the people who we keep in our hearts in the privacy of our own souls, I ask you to turn to page 20 as we pray together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, b'yama divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon v'chaye dekol Beit Yisrael, b'agalav izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mivarach le'olam olamei olamaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalo shemei dekudishah b'richu. Le'elo min kol berchota v'shirata tushvechata v'nechamata da'amiram b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalomo rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace on high bring comfort and peace to all who mourn, to all who may be bereaved, as we say together as a community. Amen. I'd ask you now to, before we conclude with our closing melody, to join with Michael and Deb, if they will unmute. Yes. The Kiddush is on page 20. And Bavakasha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotov v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim, ki banu v'chartam, meotanu kidashtam, mikol olamim, b'shabbat kodshecha, b'ahava uvratzon hinchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabat.
Amen. Chaim, do you have the sacred challah?
Oh, yes.
Oh well.
The reveal.
The reveal. Ha most.
Eloheinu
melech olam.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom, b'tei avon. Rhoda, wherever you are, you're not on the top, whatever you are. Thank you for your note. That's really cool. I had forgotten about that. So thank you very much. And Saul, if you're on, do you want me to add that name for tomorrow? Just text me yes or
Yes, please.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that stamp collection.
Let me write this down before I forget. And Michael, the closing, are you going to stick with Lechilach? Sure. Go ahead. Why not?
Page 21. Lechilach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechilach, on your journey I will bless you. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechilach. Lechilach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha. And I shall praise your name. Lechilach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lechilach. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechilach.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Deb. Our condolences to you, to all who mourn. Thank you for hanging on this a little different of a service. I hope you didn't mind too much having a couple of laughs. It's perfectly okay to laugh during Shabbat. Contrary to what you may have been taught, a good laugh and having some fun on Shabbat, sometimes we take it so seriously that we forget there's enough seriousness in life. If you don't believe me, just watch the news. And sometimes you just have to just step back, and there's humor to be found. And sometimes humor is the greatest healing aspect of our existence. So listen, Shabbat Shalom. See you all tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for Vayigash. It's a rock and roll Torah portion. Happens to be by my bar mitzvah portion. Vayigash elav Yehuda vayomer biyadoni. I still remember by heart the first lines that were pounded into my head by Mr. Krasenstein at Temple Judea on North Broad Street in Philadelphia, a synagogue that does not exist anymore. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you. Josh,
Rabbi. Hi, Gail and Alan.
Rabbi, thank
Wonderful.
you.
Rabbi, that was so much fun, all the jokes.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was a good idea. We
It was
enjoyed
great.
Very
All needed that.
There he is.
There he is.
Hi, Zach.
Hello, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, beautiful
Shabbat
friends.
Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Everyone.
Rabbi, I have a question. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Thank you. In the morning, may I please tell the story of the first Jewish president?
No.
It'll take 2 minutes. It's a good joke. It's in the family of what you were telling.
Okay, you can start off the service tomorrow morning.
Josh Kerr, if you're still there, I just wanted to say hi. It was good to see you. This is your either Algebra 2 or geometry teacher. I can't remember which, but it was fun seeing you and your wife and your daughter.
Service to her house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember?
You'll be happy to know
Long time ago.
he's a master architect now.
Well, he got the math background from me, right? I think it was
Thank
geometry.
you so much.
And he was always a good student. Absolutely. Nice seeing you. Yeah. Yeah. And condolences to you, Deb.
So much, honey. Thank you.
It's amazing who you meet on Zoom.
Isn't it? Well, we knew the connection way back when I was still teaching. So it's good to see him. Good.
All right, guys. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.